Could what's in this petri dish help a woman who's on the verge of retirement to turn her life around and become a mother?
Live from WFSB Channel 3, you're watching Eyewitness News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Dennis House. Gail's off tonight. Imagine at age 77 having to worry about putting your child through college. But that's exactly what one woman is going to have to do. She just gave birth to twins at the age of 59. It's a miracle of modern medicine. A British woman who was told she was too old to have a baby did the unthinkable on Christmas Day. Channel 3 Shoreline Bureau Chief Mika Brzezinski reports tonight on the ethical questions raised by this.
Medical technology is making families like the Gregorys of Madison a lot more secure about having babies after 40. At 42, Patricia is pregnant with her second child.
Definitely ease my mind, yeah. And it really is ultrasounds and the amnio, and they're just right on top of you. You know, you can identify things, heart problems, so much sooner now.
But when we told her about a 59-year-old British woman giving birth to twins, this was her reaction.
God bless her. Well, I just think it's amazing. It's amazing.
Reaction from members of the British medical community has been negative, experts raising ethical questions about technology helping women over 50 giving birth. Even one doctor saying it borders on the Frankenstein syndrome. Most doctors we spoke to say it's up to the woman as long as she's healthy. The only critical question is the age difference.
The only difference is the 59-year-old woman is older. There are issues of how long she's going to be around to take care of the kids, of the stamina necessary to take care of kids. If you have young kids yourself, you know that there are a lot of nights, even as they get older, when you're up with them.
Even though at that stage, psychologically and mentally, you may be prepared, but physically it may not be there. And a child does have physical needs.
The story out of Britain has raised serious ethical questions about whether or not effort should be made to help women over 50 give birth. Here in Connecticut, Yale New Haven has one of the country's first egg donation programs helping older women become parents.
What I do with my patients is I address the pros and cons of the procedure, and there are concerns. She has to be aware that being pregnant when she's that old is going to have complications, but many of these women would walk through fire to do anything to have a baby.
But whether medicine should interfere with nature is still a heated issue that will be debated as the miracle of childbirth becomes easier for older women to attain. In New Haven, Mika Brzezinski, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
A Connecticut high school football coach and most of his assistants have resigned after many of his players drank on a team trip. Al Mancini, head coach at Bristol Central High School, stepped down last week. It seems a group of Mancini's players were drinking on a team trip to the Harvard-Yale game in November. One of the students drank so much he had to be hospitalized. Coach Mancini said he was unaware of the drinking. A Hartford church has failed in its bid to open a soup kitchen downtown after the powers that be in the Roman Catholic Archdiocese said such a place would not be good for the capital city's image or for economic development. The kitchen was supposed to open in the basement of St. Patrick and St. Anthony Church, allowing the nearby House of Bread to have a lot more space. Right now it only holds 22 people and serves 200 a day. Many have to wait outside in the cold for a seat and a hot meal. The nuns who run the House of Bread disagree with the decision of the Archdiocese.
I was very disappointed. You know, as a Roman Catholic who loved the church and committed my life to the church, I know that our mission is to the poor, and an image to me would be that it'd be a very positive image to have a soup kitchen in a church.
What is good for their image? I mean, it's nothing downtown anymore. Everything's leaving this place as it is. Really might as well put something down there.
The sisters are now looking for a new location where they can expand. The parents of a Chicago boy are being called Scrooges by the police. You see, they're accused of shackling their son to the bed because he opened his Christmas present early. The boy was left alone at home and was later found bound to his bed, a form of punishment, police say. The parents could lose custody, at least temporarily, of their 7-year-old boy. 1 year ago, Bill Clinton was all excited as he prepared for becoming president. He had no idea of the problems he would face in 1993, which turned out to be quite a roller coaster year. Channel 3's Washington correspondent Tom Walker takes a look back.
My fellow citizens, today we celebrate the mystery of American renewal. He took office promising change, but nothing seemed to change as much as the ups and downs of Bill Clinton's first year in Washington. And in the beginning, it seemed like one sour note after another.
It was a violation of the law to hire undocumented workers.
I don't know exactly what happened or why we missed it, but mistakes were made.
I take full responsibility for that. He didn't hit the ground running so much as stumbling. The new commander-in-chief quickly found himself at sea and at odds with the military.
We do have people who are homosexuals who served our country with distinction.
Homophobia's got to go.
We won't ask, we won't witch hunt, we will not seek to learn orientation.
Ironically, it was a military strike against Saddam Hussein. I ordered our forces to launch a cruise missile attack that first gave the president a chance to look the part. In fact, the scorecard of Bill Clinton's year was filled with hits and misses, a saga of bad news, good news.
The vice president votes yes.
He gets his first budget through Congress, but just barely. He wins on NAFTA, but alienates organized labor in the process. He wins on a nominee to the Supreme Court, loses on his choice for a key civil rights post. He brings two archenemies together in peace.
Enough of blood and tears.
But Somalia is a nightmare.
23 dead, 75 wounded.
We are anxious to conclude our role there honorably.
It seems more and more that it is amateur hour in American foreign policy. Along the way, the Clinton agenda is jolted by the unexpected, a terrorist bombing of the World Trade Center, floods in the Midwest, Waco.
The tear gas plan was not the wrong decision.
I feel more strongly about it than you will ever know.
By the end of the year, the president had signed the Brady bill, signaling a milestone in gun control, was pushing a new anti-crime package, and gearing up to do battle over his health care reform plan. And with popularity polls on an uptick, the Clinton White House appeared to have steadied itself after that shaky start. That is, until allegations about land dealings and womanizing from the president's past hung new clouds over his future. And if bagging some wild game was good news for Bill Clinton this last week of 1993, you might well wonder what bad news will target him in 94. Tom Walker, Channel 3 Eyewitness News, Washington.
In our 5:30 follow-up tonight, a look back and ahead as we close this year with the deaths of several Connecticut youngsters getting on or off school buses in the past few years. A push is on to prevent those tragedies, and it's in the works. Rodney Bullinger, whose son Adam was run over and killed by a school bus, has been lobbying for a number of bills which will be taken up in the 94 session of the legislature. Among the proposals, a bill to require school systems to put monitors on board the buses to make sure they're clear before driving off, mandatory drug testing for drivers, and proposals raising the age at which people could drive buses to 21. Bullinger attributes public awareness to the fact that no kids were killed in school bus accidents in 1993. It is days like today when everybody needs a coat, so look inside your closet and see if you have a coat you don't use. Then you can be a part of our Give a Kid a Coat campaign. Channel 3, along with Battiston's Cleaners, are collecting decent coats through the tail end of next month. Just bring the coat to us here in Constitution Plaza or to any Battiston's. They're all around Greater Hartford, and they'll clean it for free and then distribute it to a needy child. There is still much more to come on Eyewitness News 5:30. Perhaps you're playing with your Christmas toys tonight or sporting that new holiday sweater. So tonight, we want to know, what was your favorite gift this year? Also, is the president getting a new sister-in-law? And will first brother Roger get married at the White House? Also coming up at 5:30, diets are supposed to help you lose weight. But 3 on Your Side reporter Deborah Kent found one that might just do the opposite. Stick around, we're back in 2.
Single men are looking for wives.
I asked 5 times, and if you let me, I'd ask her the 6th time right now.
These women vow to stay single.
And most of you men just want your mothers to come in and take care of you.
Nobody's looking for a mother. Nobody's looking for a housekeeper.
You might be in love with me, Oprah, and I'm not as much in love with you.
Dream on, dream on. Next, Oprah.
Join us at 4 right here on Channel 3.
In tonight's 3 on Your Side report, after the holiday feasts, chances are you're on a diet. On average, 1/3 of Americans are dieting on any given day. So when 3 on Your Side reporter Deborah Kent heard of a new diet product being peddled to Connecticut consumers, she just had to check it out and has this 3 on Your Side update.
This was a dieting device the company said had worked for 200,000 people, and it's absolutely painless. Incredible claims, and the company had no studies to back them up. Well, to get one, I had to call and order it, which I knew would get me on their mailing list, but I had to get my hands on AccuStop 2000.
You can lose weight without dieting and without any sacrifices or anything. I says, wow, that's great.
That's right. It's a purported miracle. AccuStop 2000 means no more diet pills, no more exercise. And hey, if you lose too much weight, please discontinue use immediately. When hotline volunteer Frances Kahn got this offer in the mail, she turned it over to me. And for $39.99 plus shipping, I had to see what this miracle was. Well, my AccuStop 2000 arrived just this week. Inside the pouch, I found a little silk purse. Inside that, we had a little piece of plastic that fits in your ear. The booklet with these scientists on the cover says to put it in your right ear for a couple of minutes and wiggle it whenever you feel hungry, and you'll get a feeling of fullness. The molded plastic has 6 little bumps. It's supposed to work on the ancient Chinese principle of acupuncture. There is increasing scientific evidence of the effectiveness of acupuncture for certain problems, and as part of a total therapy program, Dr. Stephen Greenberg has used acupressure for weight loss.
There are points in the ear that relate, for instance, to the stomach, okay? Mouth area, pancreas, okay? You would work often over here, liver can be involved, and so on.
I've got this device in my ear. They have 6 points. Are they hitting the right points?
They are hitting some of the points, but they may not be right for that individual.
And they're missing a few totally?
Yeah.
And would you tell your patients that this is a miracle, what you do, and that they'd never have to diet or exercise again?
Never.
The government disagreed with claims made by a predecessor to AccuStop 2000. AccuForm was on the market 11 years ago, claiming you could say goodbye to fat for life. But the Federal Trade Commission slapped them with a lawsuit, saying there was no proof to match the company's claims, and AccuForm went out of business. Could AccuStop 2000 really work?
Now, this is supposed to make you lose weight. Well, if it works, it's a miracle.
Now, the AccuStop 2000 claimed to be the last diet aid I'd ever need. If so, why did they sell my name to a mailing list that's peddling me every diet fad in America? This is what I've gotten. This one's the Fat Eliminator, a pill. Now, if I lose weight, will I end up with a partner like that one? This one's Thermo Slim. Eat all you want because, hey, losing weight shouldn't mean going on a diet. This one is the no-fault diet. Now, if none of these work, don't worry about losing the weight, just make the weights you have look better. Every wrinkle cream in America has sent me a brochure, and I've also gotten on the sweepstakes list. Why lose weight? When you've got all this money, it doesn't really matter, right? $117,000. This one's $1,000. Of course, these aren't real checks. These aren't real proven products. The only guarantee I have is I'm going to be on this mailing list for the rest of my life. Deborah Kent, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
And you know, Deborah gets many of her stories from your calls to the 3 on Your Side hotline. Our volunteers are here each day to help you solve your consumer problems. All you need to do is call our hotline between 11 and 1 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Dial our 800 number or call 244-1750. Still ahead at 5:30, are they brave or just a little bit crazy? We're going to have that story next, and we're talking about the group of people who went swimming in Newport. Take a look and you decide. Also coming up at 6 o'clock, one child is dead, another is injured. It happened in a collision with a Hartford police car. Tonight, Brian Garnett reports on efforts to find out how it happened and who was to blame. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Most of us have been handling this frigid weather by avoiding it altogether and staying inside, but not some wild and crazy folks in Newport. Ignoring the 18-degree weather, the group stripped to their bathing suits and hopped into the icy Atlantic. These are the polar bears, and they swim in the chilly surf every week, though this time they stayed in for just 1 minute. And if you want to take part, they are doing it again on New Year's Day. And I think if you look very closely at that video, you can see meteorologist Bruce DePrest. Bruce, are you in there?
Well, I'm in here, Dennis. It's a little bit warmer anyway. Not very much, but a little bit warmer. We have incredibly cold weather across the northeastern states right now, and it's going to stay with us right through Thursday. Friday, we may see temperatures get above freezing. Let's take a look at where we stand right now. And in Hartford, it's 16 degrees after a morning low of 7 above. Now, we just had a call from Winchester Center saying that we had 8 below zero. Don Sutton in Winchester Center saying 8 below zero was their low in Winchester Center this morning. 17 degrees right now in New Haven. Dew points are very low. We got a light wind around the area, so luckily we don't have much in the way of wind to add a bite to the air. Well, let's see where we stand right now across the eastern half of the country, and I'll tell you what, there is huge temperature contrast from north to south. Right now, we have 14 degrees below zero in Caribou, Maine, but Miami is a balmy 71 degrees. That's a temperature difference of 85 degrees from northern Maine to the southern tip of Florida. But we're on the edge of some real bone-chilling Arctic air in Canada, where temperatures up in Canada right now are anywhere from 20 to as much as 35 degrees below zero. Locally, temperatures, well, 16 at Channel 3, 17 in New Haven, 12 at Bradley International Airport, already 7 degrees in Worcester, and 11 degrees at Westover Air Force Base. Now, across New England, we have 0 in Burlington, Vermont, -1 in Bangor, Maine, and 24 below zero on the summit of Mount Washington. Now, last night at 11 o'clock, Mount Washington had a wind chill of -107, and right now the wind chill up there is -94. But luckily in southern New England, we don't have much in the way of wind to cause wind chills to go well below zero. In fact, the wind chill at Bradley Field is 5 above, and in New Haven, the wind chill is 4 above. Cold enough, but not as bad as it was last night when we had more in the way of wind. And since the air is so dry, not much in the way of precipitation. Still some light snow flurry activity around the Great Lakes area, and also some light snow showing up aloft south of Long Island right now that's probably not reaching the ground since the air at the surface is so very, very dry. Now, we do have a shot at some snow, I should say, and that would be coming our way for either Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday night. That's our only shot this week. Let's take a look at the forecast for this evening and dress warmly out there because it's going to be very cold. Partly cloudy inland this evening, 7 to 13. Along the shoreline, partly cloudy with temperatures in the mid-teens. Then overnight, partly to mostly cloudy skies across the area, more in the way of clouds along the shoreline. 5 below to 5 above inland, near 10 at the coast. And then for tomorrow, a partly sunny day. We'll have light winds again, but still very cold. High temperatures in the upper teens to low and mid-20s. On the 5-day planner, there's our shot at some snow, either late Wednesday or Wednesday night. And then later on this week and over the upcoming weekend, we could see temperatures get above freezing. But in the meantime, it's going to stay below that old magical 32-degree mark. Back to you, Dennis.
Bit of a heat wave. All right, thanks, Bruce. Author Toni Morrison lost her house this weekend in a Christmas Day fire. That story tops our People in the News. An amber from a fireplace ended up on a couch and triggered a fire that destroyed Morrison's house in Rockland County, New York. Her manuscripts also burned. The Nobel and Pulitzer Prize-winning author's son was home at the time of the blaze, but for some reason he didn't report the fire for half an hour. Mary Poppins could be coming to Broadway. After 25 years of saying no, the author of the children's classic has given permission for a stage production of Mary Poppins. Incidentally, 90-year-old P.L. Travers was unhappy with Disney's 1964 film version of her work. No casting has been made, and Disney has not yet released the rights to such songs as A Spoonful of Sugar and Let's Go Fly a Kite. First brother Roger Clinton is supposed to get married today. That's if you believe a report in a Dallas newspaper. The bride-to-be is Molly Martin, and the couple is expecting their first child in the spring. And it doesn't look like the president is going to make the wedding. One magazine reports Roger wanted to tie the knot at the White House, but that idea was nixed because the bride is pregnant. Still ahead at 5:30. What were your favorite gifts this holiday season? We asked that question in Hartford today. And Dave Smith is up next with sports in a minute. He has the best punts, passes, kicks, and catches from this weekend's gridiron action, so stay tuned.